So let's talk about it this way, the importance of own stories, right? So 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine sent me an article that they had found. And it was from 1921, and it was the Toronto Star, which at the time was the Toronto Daily Star. And the article, the headline was, 104-year-old children live in this village. Okay, it was like, village, home of 104-year-old children. And it had these pictures of people, and it said, gaze upon them. Okay, it was like a carny. It was like, gaze upon them, like put your, 25 cents, or I don't know how much carnies would have charged you back in the 20s, but probably less than that. Anyways, so I looked at it and I thought, what the hell? Why would someone send this to me? What is it? And as I was reading it, it said, there was this very strange town north of York, of Toronto, called Penetanguishene. And in this place, there are the most bizarre village you'll ever find, where there are picturesque Métis or half-breeds who live in this one settlement. Come with us, as our intrepid reporter talks to a few of them. And so, of course, now I'm reading it with interest. And so they get to this one person and they say, here is a youth of 76. So they're saying this elder is an idiot, right? He's a youth of 76, and his name is Mackay Dezome, and he's my great-grandfather. And so they talk about, they describe him as Indian as Tecumseh and as French as Quebec. And then they say, and his friend, the 104-year-old child, is actually his cousin, Paul Dorion. But anyways, so I'm reading this, and I'm laughing, because what are you going to do, right? I'm laughing. I'm like, this is ridiculous and funny and whatever. And then I realize, it's my privilege. I have privilege that I'm able to laugh. Because Mackay Dezome was my great-grandfather, and when that reporter came into our community, into our settlement, both my grandparents were there. They were children at the time, like actual children, not just, old people. And my grandmother raised me. So I have like a very direct connection. And I grew up with stories of Mackay Dezome, and Mackay Dezome was an incredible gardener, and he grew plant medicine. Okay, so all of his garden, because they made fun of him in the article, they sort of copied the way he spoke that broken Anishinaabe French. They kind of, made fun of him in the article, but he was trying to tell them about his garden. And I was like, yeah, Mackay Dezome did a lot of things for our community. He grew the medicines that we used because there was no medical care on the other side of the bay. And he also took in a lot of children who were orphaned. He raised at one point both of my grandmothers from both sides of the family. So he was an incredible elder and leader and teacher. And I thought, if I didn't have those stories, if I didn't have the privilege of having those stories, how would I feel looking at this article about the elders in my community being called children and being made fun of? And literally, their pictures, gaze upon them, the mysterious half-breeds. But I have such a privilege because those same old children who apparently had no foresight had the foresight to give me stories so that I could read that article and know the truth and then talk about the truth. So it's incredibly important because it means that in times, even when they get tough, I know who I am. And I know who my family members are, and I know where we come from. So even if people's opinions of us change, or the world changes around us, I know who I am and who we are, and that is a privilege. And it's something I'm very cognizant of when I talk to young people, the importance of stories, right?